This is a World Cup 2026 update. Filling in for Talking Ginger at the TNO Sports Desk, Talking Paul.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 17 of the FIFA World Cup and the final day of regular group stage matches. Tomorrow we will begin the knockout stages to determine the winner of the Golden Trophy. For now, though, let's get to the match recaps from yesterday. On the schedule, we had Senegal against Iraq, Norway against France, Cabo Verde against Saudi Arabia, Uruguay against Spain, New Zealand against Belgium, and Egypt against Iran. Senegal boosted their chances of reaching the knockout stage of the World Cup with a 5-0 victory against 10-man Iraq. The Lions of Teranga finished third in Group I with 3 points, declining to fifth among third-place teams, but they will still need results elsewhere to go their way to secure a place in the last 32. Senegal played a near-perfect game in Toronto as they looked to bounce back from the defeats by France and Norway. Yesterday's result pushed Scotland down to 9th in the table of third-place sides, with 8 to advance to the next round. France forward Ousmane Dembele scored a first-half hat-trick, including one off a feed from Kylian Mbappe to help his team beat Norway 4-1 at the World Cup yesterday. Dembele's goals came in the 7th, 20th, and 32nd minutes, and it was the first-half hat-trick at the World Cup since 1994. France, which won the World Cup in 2018 and lost in the final 4 years ago, had already secured its place in the knockout round before yesterday's match. Norway was also assured of a spot in the round of 32 and ended up in second place in the group. Cape Verde completed an improbable run through the group stage with a third straight World Cup draw to become the smallest country to earn a spot in a World Cup knockout round. They drew against Saudi Arabia last night 0-0 in Houston. Cape Verde had already held 2010 champions Spain to a 0-0 draw and then came from behind to get a 2-2 result against Uruguay. Cape Verde's 3 points put the team in second place behind Spain, who beat Uruguay last night and won the group. We'll get to that match in just a moment. Cape Verde will play reigning world champions Argentina in Miami on July 3rd. Spain defeated Uruguay 1-0 after another goalkeeping mistake by Fernando Muslera to advance to the knockout stage of the World Cup and eliminate the South American powerhouse yesterday. Uruguay, a two-time champion, will go home without any victories in its 3 Group H games. Spain, the European champion, won the group with 7 points and will face the second-place team from Group J, either Austria or Algeria, on Thursday in Inglewood, California. At 19th in the FIFA rankings, Uruguay is the highest-ranked team to be eliminated so far. Egypt advanced past the group stage at the World Cup for the first time, while Iran will have to wait 1 day to find out its fate after the two teams played to a 1-1 draw. Iran had a potential winning goal called back due to an offside. At the conclusion of what was promoted as a pride match in Seattle, one which neither team wanted any part in, the Pharaohs finished in second place in Group G. Belgium, which played to a 1-1 draw against Egypt on June 15th, beat New Zealand 5-1 in Vancouver, British Columbia to win the group outright. We'll get to that match in a moment. Egypt will face Australia in the round of 32 in Arlington, Texas on July 3rd. Iran could still advance to the knockout round for the first time in the expanded 40-18 pool at this year's tournament. But they no longer control their own destiny after yesterday's game. Leandro Trossard scored a pair of goals and Belgium overcame a slow start in the World Cup to advance to the knockout round with a 5-1 victory over New Zealand last night. With a scoring outburst, Belgium finished atop Group G and will face a third-place winner in Wednesday in Seattle. The match was played simultaneously to the other group finale in Seattle between Egypt and Iran, which ended in a 1-1 draw. With the loss, the All-Whites head home without a first-ever World Cup win. And should Belgium win their knockout round opener, it will face the winner of the match against the United States and Bosnia-Herzegovina in the round of 16. And with yesterday's matches, Paraguay, Egypt, Portugal, England, Ghana, and Senegal have all qualified for the knockout rounds. Now let's take a look at today's final batch of group stage matches. We have Panama against England, Croatia against Ghana, Colombia against Portugal, DR Congo against Uzbekistan, Algeria against Austria, and Jordan against Argentina. After coming unstuck again in Boston, England has a second chance to win Group L when it faces Panama at MetLife Stadium today. Following the highs of its matchday triumph against Croatia, the majority expected a procession at Gillette Stadium when Thomas Tuchel's Roaring Three Lions faced off against Ghana. However, the Black Stars, set up superbly by the Willie Carlos Curators, frustrated the life out of England and were good value for their points. Still, victory for Tuchel's men today will see the one-time winner into the round 32 as Group L victors, assuming there isn't a major goal difference swing from Ghana. They're facing off against Panama for the second time at this tournament, having done so on the Central Americans World Cup bow in 2018. England put the debutant to the sword then, with Harry Kane scoring a hat-trick in a 6-1 rout. However, Los Caneros have evolved impressively since. Led by former Barcelona striker Thomas Christensen, Panama reached 29th in FIFA's world rankings last year and currently sit 34th. 2 defeats in 2 games this summer means the nation is already eliminated, but Christensen's men ought to have earned a lot more. Croatia will face Ghana in their third and final group stage World Cup match at Philadelphia Stadium on FS1. This will be the first ever meeting between the two nations in a competitive match, and the winner of this match advances to the knockout stage. After an opening 4-2 loss to England, Croatia rebounded with a 1-0 win over Panama on Wednesday. Last Wednesday, I should say. Croatia seeks a 4th World Cup knockout stage and 3rd in a row, after losing to France in the finals in 2018 and finishing 3rd in 2022. Meanwhile, Ghana has been one of the most surprising teams this so far summer. In its opener, Ghana's late game heroics gave them a 1-0 win over Panama. Then, in its second match of the tournament, Ghana held England to a scoreless draw as huge underdogs. Ghana is in a great position to advance to the knockout stage, regardless of its result in this match. Colombia and Portugal are set to face off in a highly anticipated World Cup Group K finale at Miami Stadium on Fox. One of the most anticipated group matches at this World Cup features the top 2 teams in Group K vying for first place. By beating Uzbekistan 3-1 and Congo DR 1-0, Colombia clinched a spot in the knockout stage for the 4th time and the 3rd time in the last 4 World Cups. Colombia started slowly against Uzbekistan, recording just 1 shot in the game's first half hour before scoring 3 goals in the match. But Los Cafeteros came out blazing against DR Congo, taking 8 shots in the first 20 minutes before eventually scoring in the 76th minute. Meanwhile, after a very disappointing 1-1 draw against DR Congo to open the tournament, Portugal exploded for a 5-0 win versus Uzbekistan last Tuesday. Cristiano Ronaldo scored twice against Uzbekistan, ending his drought of 10 straight major tournament games without a goal and 13 straight major tournament games without a non-penalty goal. It's hard to argue that any other group stage match has bigger implications than this one. So do Ronaldo and Portugal top the group, or will Colombia pull off the upset? You'll have to watch to find out. And speaking of DR Congo and Uzbekistan, both those teams are set to face off in their final Group K match of the World Cup at Atlanta Stadium on FS1. This will be the first competitive match between the two nations. DR Congo got its first World Cup goal and first World Cup point in a surprising 1-1 draw with Portugal in its opener. It followed that result with another hard-fought match before giving up a late goal and falling 1-0 to Colombia last Tuesday. Meanwhile, Uzbekistan lost 3-1 to Colombia in its opener and then 5-0 to Portugal last Tuesday, becoming the 5th straight AFC debutant to lose its first 2 matches. Second place and a date with Spain in the knockout phase awaits the winner of Austria versus Algeria today. The sides face a conundrum in their World Cup Group J finale, as the loser will have a potentially easier draw and will avoid facing a Spanish side with the second best odds to win the competition. Austria will finish second with a win or a draw, while a win by Algeria will vault them into second in the group standings. Argentina have already clinched the Group J title with a 3-0 win over Algeria and a 2-0 win over Austria. Kickoff is 10 p.m. Eastern Time from Kansas City, Missouri. And finally, Argentina concludes its successful Lionel Messi-dominated group stage in Arlington this evening as it faces eliminated debutants Jordan. Maximum points means Argentina is safely through to the round of 32 ahead of today's clash, with Uruguay or Cabo Verde its likely next opponents. Jordan's maiden World Cup experience is yet to return a point, but it has struck in both of its games. Al Nassr were beaten 3-1 on match day 1 before Algeria fought back from a goal down to beat the Jordanians 2-1 last time out. The head-to-head tiebreaker means Jordan is eliminated with a game to spare, but it'll target a celebratory conclusion to its first World Cup experience at the home of the Dallas Cowboys. And that will do it for today's daily update, and that will also do it for me this week. Talking Ginger will be back tomorrow to get you guys through the rest of the tournament. Enjoy the games, and I'll see you next time.
This has been a World Cup 2026 update.